Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding is provided by a grant from Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who spent a lifetime caring for others. Absolute Care is located at 26 Cass Street in Westfield. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Join us live Saturday mornings between 9 and 10 a.m. in Fredonia, Mayville, and Silver Creek. Call in and share a thought or wish someone a happy birthday with Chautauqua County's only live on-air senior program. Reed continues in his 15th year with interesting guests expressing their viewpoints and informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And what a beautiful day we have here in Chautauqua County. It's just a lovely, gorgeous day, fall day, and it looks like winter is on its way. We're getting those crisp evenings and even a little snow up in Mayville last couple of weeks ago. We have a great program coming on. We're going to be talking about banks and banks and banks. But we're going to be talking about a different kind of a bank, the credit union. And everybody has a credit union in their own little hometown, and it sometimes just goes unnoticed. It looks like a little Subway restaurant or something, but it happens to be a bank, and they're there to serve you, and there's a difference, and you should know the difference, and I hope you have the intelligence to make that adjustment if you want to put some dough away. We have, incidentally, we have the CEO of the Jamestown group, which is the credit union companies, and she is going to give us a lot of information. Her name is Vicky Matteson Burdick, and she will be here to talk about banking on the small scale in your hometown. Now, I have an awful lot of wonderful things going on around us. I watch the TV regularly, and I do not shoot it because that might make scare my neighbors. But I do everything else because I can't. My wife keeps saying, "Why are you shouting at the TV? They can't hear you." You see the war that goes on perpetually in the Middle East, and we hear that all the kids are. In news we do get about the wars, because remember, the wars, if they're out of your mind, you'll forget about them and you won't try to stop them and get furious about the fact that it's killing thousands of our kids, bringing tens of thousands home in pieces, and costing us not billions but trillions of dollars. And who's making money on this? Why would they continue? Well, hell, everybody who makes arms, tanks, planes, guns, machines, the war, they're making a fortune. They're cleaning up. Who's going to pay for this? We don't have the money. Well, your grandchildren will pay for it, or your children will. Because you, at this point, are insolvent anyway, most of us, because they haven't given the seniors a cost of living increase. And the Congress is a bunch of very rich and powerful people who gave themselves a big raise last year, announced that there's going to be no inflation, so seniors don't need the promised cost of living. Well, they have given us half the promised cost of living for the last 8 years. We've lost 50% of our dollar's purchasing power, and now they announce nothing. Have you noticed our county taxes alone went up over 7%, and it's not because of the county's fault. It's because New York State has decided they're going to cut corners and they're going to save taxes. So how do they do that? They take needed services and they simply discontinue them. So the county has to pick them up and the county has to raise their taxes. So you and I pay more money for our house, which is probably the worst way to raise taxes on God's earth. Probably illegal and unconstitutional, I might add, but nobody's tested that. They did test the school end of it, and the Supreme Court did rule it was unconstitutional. They still do it anyway, of course, because they didn't say when they had to implement the new the new decision by the Supreme Court making school taxes illegal and unconstitutional. They didn't say when. They said at earliest possible opportunity, or all due haste is the term they use. That was 30 years ago. God help us. This Congress has got to go. The new ones coming in, they're the same old gang. Have you noticed supermarket prices are shooting up, rocking? You know, seniors get used to this stuff. You know, the seniors during the Depression ate this. It's cat food. It's very inexpensive, but it's edible and it's very tasty. I've got the tender slices here. You have to put mustard on those to make them really good. And the tuna isn't bad either, but mayo. I'm writing a cookbook on how to cook with cat food for seniors who will be living in their children's basement shortly, all of them. Have lost their houses. You notice there's 3 pages now of houses that have gone under for taxes or mortgage or something. And there used to be about a quarter of a page in the paper. And that's because everybody's losing their houses. Yeah, seniors particularly. Well, if you don't get a cost of living increase, seniors, what are they supposed to do? They get a job at Walmart, climbing up a ladder and stocking shelves when you can barely walk? Give me a break. All right, enough of that. Let me see. I can't blame, incidentally, Greg or the county legislature for the more than 7% tax increase, but you did hear about it first on Senior Report over a year ago when I mentioned the fact you will receive a whopping tax increase on the county level. Because it was obvious. The state's passing on things to the county that we have to have, like road repairs, water, medical costs, all kinds of other things. I mean, we're the poorest county now in New York State, and we also are the most highly taxed in the United States, according to the papers. Yeah. It's a lovely place to live, though. Just try to avoid the taxes if you can. Don't own anything. Don't have any income. All right. Mayville, what a crowd. We're here in Mayville right now, and we are in the most modern studio you've ever seen in your life. It's the most modern, beautiful, largest access studio in the state of New York, built strictly for access. Thank you. Some beautiful people over here like Chuck Kelsey and Devin Taylor, who worked relentlessly for a whole year putting this together, over a year. They started from scratch. They built it. It's beautiful. All right. Now in Mayville, we have a bunch of great people there. They meet at the VFW regularly, and they did meet there on Veterans Day, I might add, and they joined in with the ceremony that the veterans have, honoring the past veterans. They have a huge bunch of people there, and I wanted to mention that they have a couple of trips that are fantastic. They're going to Alaska. Believe it or not, yeah, the whole gang heading up to Alaska. Watch the glaciers calve. That's about what Alaska is all about, I think. It's fascinating what's going on up there. It's just incredible. It's so many natural resources: coal, copper, silver, gold, other metals, and plus, not to mention the oil. We got a good deal for our $7,000 or something that they paid. $7 million, I guess. We bought it from. It was 2 cents an acre. And they called it Seward's Folly. One of our local boys, incidentally, who lived here in Westfield for quite a while, who ran the Holland Land Company. And after they tried to lynch Peacock, who ran it. Yeah, there's a lot of history there. I'll tell you about it someday. All right, anyway, I want to say happy birthday to Marilyn Anderson, Pat Faust, Peter Smith, and a whole bunch of other people. And they're going to December 14th to Cambridge Dinner Theater trip. That's a good trip. All right, I'm enough of that one. Let's move on here. Incidentally, the entertainment for the December 2nd meeting, which is the next meeting, will be the Backwoods Bluegrass. And the same people are going to be, no, not the same, but usually you get the same leaders who do the work. Here's a new nomination, which always is unopposed in all the senior programs. President will be Joyce Ayers, first vice Fran Miller, current president, and second vice will be Wanda Gustafson, and elected for treasurer Brown, assisted by Bonnie Johnson. Secretary Ailing will be assisted by Sandy Wagner. And they still haven't filled the trustees' seats. These poor folks, they work for nothing, and they have a lot of work to do. Dues are due, don't forget that. Most of the groups are now collecting their dues. Pay it up with no hassle, $2, $5, what's the difference? Some of them give long-term members, they give them free dues if you've been there for a while, like in Chautauqua. You can get into Chautauqua for free when you're 90. They collected money in Mayville for the Mayville Food Pantry, I might add. God bless them. And they are having Christmas dinner December 2nd at noon. That's the meeting at the VFW. It'll be catered by the VFW. You know, the veterans do well by the seniors. The American Legion VFWs, they give them places to live. They're taking a collection for needy families, and this installation for officers will be held at that time. All right, here we go. Logan, this is over in Fredonia. We're going to have a Christmas party December 10th at the VFW in Sheridan. This Sheridan, I mean. Sheridan has a great bunch, and they have a happy song, a Happy Sheridan Senior song. I'm going to have them come over to sing it. The Pioneer Social Club from Forestville will be joining them. Yeah. They're taking reservations. They're going to Crescent Beach. What a place. And it's going to cost nothing, just about $64. I shouldn't mention prices, but for a trip like that, forget it. And they always play bingo. Silver Creek, quick note here, Ed Newman does a job there, and they ask you to bring a non-perishable food item for the food pantry. And that'll be next to the club's Thanksgiving dinner, November 23. Catered meal at 1 p.m. in the senior building. And they said we're out of time. Already? Yep, the news time is over. So I have a public announcement for you, and this public service announcement is important, so watch it, and then we will have the geezer on. Randy, could you take it up a little more? I don't know if you've seen too much of my paper here and my food.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
And don't forget, you have a beautiful Thanksgiving Day coming up soon, and invite somebody who's sad and alone. You know somebody who really has no family, who might not be, doing anything on Thanksgiving. There's nothing more dreary than having nowhere to go on Thanksgiving. Invite them over, sit an extra table. We're having 20 some odd people at our family, so what's a big deal? You put another chair there and invite somebody along who might want to go. The geezer is on. Mort, you're on.
Why, thank you, Reed. Good morning, Reed. Good morning to our guest, and good morning to all of our guests who are tuned in. You know, normally, I see pretty much eye to eye with Reed. We don't have any significant differences of
Are you going to
opinion.
gripe about the trains again, Mort?
Yes.
You've griped about the trains every other program you've done for the last 5 years.
I'm sick and tired of that damn noise. There's a train that comes through Westfield. I don't mind so much during the week, but Saturday morning, Sunday morning, I like to get some rest. And this guy comes through with his horn blasting away. Now, Reed lives one street closer to the railroad than I do. And I see a lot of nails starting to pop out of his house from the vibrations of the train going through. That doesn't bother him at all. But me, I go into an absolute rage. I feel that, you know, what the heck, at 85 years of age, I should be entitled to some sleep, at least one good night's sleep before I die. But the guy who's riding that train doesn't agree with me. And that's a very serious difference of opinion. And Reed, we will never get over it.
Goodbye. I find the sound of, first of all, the sound of a train or any sound is a mindset. If you decide it's going to wake you up and bother you, it will. If you say to yourself, it's a beautiful sound, the distant sound of the train moaning off in the distance is a beautiful sound at night. You'll sleep right through. It'll be no problem at all. And also, I might add,